Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Brand new tactic review for you guys today. Something a little bit different. Something kind of a manager out in Brazil and for managing Palmeiras. That is Abel Ferreira. Kind of young, kind of energetic manager. Very passionate, very kind of vocal, very lively. I think when you see him in kind of videos and interviews and stuff, and I think when you see him kind of clips of him coach him, so very dynamic, very kind of seems very kind of excitable, very kind of passionate, very intense. So I'm going to try and recreate his tactic today. I think if you'd asked me maybe a couple of seasons ago, I think this would have been a 5-2-3 formation or 3-4-3, however you see it. I think since then it's kind of changed. I know he may have dabbled with a 4-2-3-1 at that period of time, kind of 2 or 3 seasons ago. But now it seems very much a kind of a 4-2-3-1. That's his kind of favourite tactic by the looks of it. I don't know whether he maybe drops back to the kind of 3-4-3 if needed, defensive, if like a defensive formation. But I'm going to kind of try to focus on his 4-2-3-1. Like I say, something I kind of maybe noticed and picked up on, and you guys can get down in the comments if you're a fan of Palmeiras or you watch kind of a lot of Brazilian football, which I say I don't, but I have done a little bit of research. And I think obviously back at the time, I think his style was generally kind of focused on defence, short passing, kind of control that ball, play out to the kind of wings and kind of like a wide, kind of keep the kind of wings wide, if that makes sense, and stretch the kind of the play out wide to the wings. Obviously create those kind of attacking opportunities, but it seemed very defensive, very zonal, which I believe is kind of like the Brazilian way. It's kind of like a known kind of Brazilian defensive style. But I think he seemed to have ripped the rule book up on that one. From what I've seen, it seems very much now a full-on gegenpress with maybe the back line kind of man for man, if you like, kind of having their own kind of man-to-mark, pulling in. And that has its benefits, has its kind of drawbacks. It doesn't seem as defensively solid, but it seems to be scoring goals. I think at this time of creating this, I do believe they may be top of the league, if I'm not mistaken. But I've looked back at some of the results. So things I picked up on is kind of certainly kind of low possession that I think he probably would have had a couple of seasons ago with that 3 at the back formation. Seems to have kind of fairly low number of passes, so it does seem a little bit more, maybe not direct, but maybe a little bit quicker, getting the ball from the back to the front. And I'll probably say, low possession and probably low passing accuracy as well. So whether that kind of suggests that the ball gets played into space or again, it's just quick and they lose possession a lot more than maybe what they used to. But to me, I think that he seems to have changed his style quite, I suppose, drastically. Like I say, I don't know if anyone can confirm that, any kind of fans or fans of Brazilian football. But if you do, get down in the comments, let me know what you think. But a little bit about himself. Say 46 years old. I think 2-time winner, kind of back-to-back winner of the Copa Libertadores. I think 2020 and 2021. Won numerous kind of titles, the Brazilian Sao Paulo State, 22, Sudamericano winners, Serie A champions as well. So like I say, I think he also got the manager of the year in that year, 22 as well. So like I say, quite highly decorated, very highly thought of, still only 46 as well. I think there's a rumour as well that he uses Football Manager as a source of kind of scouting players. I don't know if that's ever been confirmed or if it's true or not, but it'd be great if it was. So there's hope for us all, maybe. But no, like you say, he seems like a very kind of a dynamic, energetic manager. So we'll dive right in. We'll have a look at the team setup, player instructions, team instructions, how I see it. Like I say, I think it seems to have a drastic swing in styles from what I've probably seen. There's not much kind of information about this kind of new style. It's 4-2-3-1. But like I say, I've looked back at recent results, recent games played, look at the stats. So like I say, look at the team instructions, look at the kind of player roles, see how I got on in the Brazilian football, which by the way is mental. Looked like kind of 3 matches every week by the looks of it, throughout the entire year. So I think we'll see a decent squad. Certainly if you had a season ticket in Brazil, you'd probably get your money's worth as well. Always seems to be something going on, a match to be played, if not 3. So we'll see how this tactic done. Like I say, as always, please get down in the comments. By the way, these tactics are available on my Discord under the same name. I will try and refresh the link. I think I need to do a bit of housekeeping, I think, and update on my YouTube kind of main pages. But Yeah, under the same name. If you want these tactics, I've done quite a few others. Head over there and just download them from the from my Discord. So we'll jump right in. Like I say, probably a good time as well to obviously ask you to kind of drop a like if you are enjoying this kind of content. Please subscribe as well. You can see we are growing bit by bit, up to 140 subscribers there now, which you can see I never thought that would happen when I started out this kind of hobby a few months ago. So like I say, we'll crack on, we'll get on with the tactic, try and show you a few stats as well, and the data hopes to back that up. Watch a few highlights on the past matches throughout the season. So let's see if we can kind of maybe create what we hope to kind of achieve. So here we have the tactic. Like I say, it's kind of my interpretation of it. I'm by no means a huge fan, huge watcher of Brazilian football, should I say. Not really familiar with Palmeiras either. Like I say, you guys probably know better if you come across this tactic. But I managed to watch kind of a few highlights, a few clips. I'm looking at the stats, trying to get a feel of kind of what the tactic plays like. I think we tell a lot by kind of possession and passing and things like that, and kind of shots, and how many shots they face. Are they quite open? Are they quite loose? Are they quite defensive? Do they play short passing, direct passing? Like I say, I may have got this maybe a little bit wrong in terms of the passing, because I'm thinking probably now, I'm not going to think about the stats, should I maybe had it in passing to space? Is that something that they do a lot more? But from what I've seen, I think they do like the ball at the feet. Obviously, Brazilian have their kind of natural flair and skills. I don't need to run onto balls as much. I think they've certainly got the talent to kind of take players on, kind of beat man for man. So let me know what you think. Like I say, this is just my kind of summary of it and how I saw it. So we'll start off with probably team instructions. Like I say, I think he's changed his style quite a bit. I know kind of historically, like I say, European manager, obviously I think he's Portuguese. Started off kind of managing, I believe, in Portugal. Had a spell in Greece before kind of getting picked up by Palmeiras. So came over here. I think he was been over there for a few seasons now. I don't think he's ever been sacked. I think he's always been kind of wanted by other clubs. So pretty fairly solid stat in itself, that I think as well, and shows he's obviously got longevity. But I'd love to know a little bit more about why he's maybe changed styles. I think this squad's quite aging as well. So I think he's changed to seem to be a bit more gegenpress-like, and like you say, asking the kind of back line to work even harder. And I think when you've got kind of players of a certain age, sometimes they do struggle with that. So let me know how that's kind of working out if you're a fan, and can you see signs that it's maybe not, working very well. But like I say, I've looked at a few kind of games gone by. I think there was a recent one, 5-3 away. So there's goals getting scored, but seems to be quite leaky a little bit at the defence as well. Not maybe as defensively solid as it may have been previous seasons. Certainly when kind of back-to-back Copa Libertadores winners. So mentality, when we jump straight in possession, then I've gone for a tackle with the fairly narrow. Although I want them fairly narrow, I think it's kind of very controlled. Like, see, he still wants to kind of try and maintain that kind of narrow formation. All you do, you have your wide men. I think he wants kind of players to kind of pick up the ball. You see the player from the back, very short, very kind of quick passing. There's always players there ready to receive the ball. I think that still kind of maintains. So I've gone fairly narrow. Could be an argument to say maybe bump that up a little bit, but I think the play is narrow, and then until the wingers are kind of free in space, and then they tend to get released on the wings, whether wing backs or the attacking wingers themselves. So with that, then I've gone for play out of defence. Like I say, I think it is controlled passing. I think it is play from the back. From what I've seen, I think that's been probably the same throughout all of his tactics. All of his kind of his years at the club. Still wants to be controlled. Still wants to kind of play off from the back and maintain that possession. And that's certainly in the approach play. Shorter passing, like I've said there, and high tempo, which probably does lead to the lack of possession, maybe misplaced passes as well. So moving on from there, the final third then, work ball in the box, run a defence, and be more expressive. You can see we are in Brazil. If you're not expressive in Brazil, then, you're even Brazilian. So that's the kind of in possession. I think, like I say, maybe pop that a little bit wider if you like. Passing to space, I didn't see it as much. Quite honestly, in the highlights I've seen, it did very much look, ball to feet. Not much overlapping either, although there was overloads in the attacking area. But then one came from the the forward line and a centre midfielder coming through as well. So I think they're still trying to maintain that defensive shape, although when it comes to the defensive side of things, I think they are a little bit more kind of intense pressing, not the zonal kind of defensive mark, and that's maybe they were known for. And certainly I think Brazil has that style of defending as a kind of a nation of the football kind of itself. So, but I'm interested in a little bit more about that. Is that true? Is that correct? So moving on to transition then. Counter press, counter. Like you see, this is aggressive. This is very in your face. Does maintain that kind of more high line from what I've seen. The forwards and the wingers kind of getting into that press as well, putting pressure on, not going to win that ball back. But like I said, that comes at a cost. That comes at of energy drain and energy sapping. Now I know he is known for mixing youth and kind of experience. I think that was certainly the case again when he won the kind of Libertadores back-to-back seasons. But I think maybe he may have lost a little bit of that. I think Estevao here at the moment's going his way to Chelsea, probably when he turns 18. If he's not already there already. This is the start of 2023, I think. Although we've had its updated squad, so I'm still maybe the case. But anyway, so like I say, I think it's kind of a mix of kind of youth and experience. But looking at the main squad itself now, I don't know, he may have lost a lot of that kind of youth that he had a couple of seasons ago. And he seems to have left with a fairly kind of aging back line, certainly, which maybe can't cope with this kind of gegenpress intense style. So, so counter press, counter. You can see it is gegenpress. Distribute to full backs, distribute to centre backs. Like I say, I have seen that kind of play off from the back line. Very much kind of still relevant by the looks of it. And I've got that on take short kicks. Out of possession there, that high press, standard defensive line. Like I say, I still think he tries to maintain that, albeit when they are defending their own half. You will see, obviously, every man chasing the man, kind of really hitting that trigger press more often. Hence you see here, got prevent short goalkeeper distribution on, get stuck in, step up more and trap on the inside. Just to kind of full anything in the middle, win that ball back in advantage positions, like you see here, release that ball quickly and kind of launch almost counter-attacks from your own half. So that's the kind of team instructions in. Moving on to kind of quickly go through the player positions and player instructions as well. So Weaverton, sweeper keeper, just simply on take more risks, sweeper keeper on support. Kind of make here, like I say, I haven't kind of put this team in. I've tried to keep it as kind of realistic as possible based on matches that's been played in real life very recently. Obviously, kind of the computer changed them around, the assistant manager. And I think playing them out so many games, if I try to keep the same team as much as possible, they get super fatigued and you don't really get a fair reflection on how that season goes. I think I'm not sure if the assistant manager changes them often enough. You probably come out to games where, especially 3 games a week, and the players be absolutely shattered and the assistant manager's still trying to play them. So just do let him do his thing, let him rotate. And to be fair, he's pretty much spot on position-wise where players will be anyway. So we've got kind of Mick here, wing back on support here, but just focus on the player roles and the player instructions. Shoot less often, tackle harder for the wing back on support. 2 centre backs on defend. You can see nothing too kind of flash from them. Very simple. 2 centre backs defending. I still think he probably is trying to maintain that defensive stability, albeit now with a slightly more gegenpress, trigger press approach. Certainly not the zonal mark, and that maybe would have been from seasons before. So 2 centre backs in. Both these guys, no other instructions. Shoot less often, dribble less and hold position. Piqueires on wing back on the left. Shoot less often, tackle harder. Exactly the same as Mickey on the right. Just to get off that support and down the wings. Like you say, play off from the back. Play at the wings. Look for them openings on the vertical wingers or back into the kind of midfield, kind of Mauricio, advanced playmaker, or the kind of Volante in the middle there. But everything seems to happen through the kind of centre backs and the wing backs as well. And like you say, hopefully looking for those kind of wide men as well. So moving into the midfield, I've got a kind of a ball-winning midfielder in Moreno. Again, no additional PIs, just what's hard-coded. Shoot less often, dribble less, take fewer risks, hold position and tackle harder. Apart from that guy, I've got Gabriel Menino, Volante on support, and he kind of just helps out, like you say, when you see the kind of, when they do overload, whether it comes from centre backs or the wing backs kind of making these passes forward, you'll see the midfielder kind of coming through from midfield, supporting the attack. So you end up with kind of, like you say, 5 players kind of making that attack. So obviously inside forwards coming in, kind of wing backs probably supporting them as well, but albeit maybe not as high up as you'd expect. Maybe kind of dropped up to here somewhere, just offering that little bit of support. You do see a midfielder bursting through, hence why I've got him sat deep initially, but then Volontier, so he's looking to get forward, looking to get on the edge of this box. And like you see, I've seen it in a few clips, probably the style that he's maybe kept over kind of the past few seasons. So he's simply on kind of shoot less often, take more risks and tackle harder. Forward in midfielder, like you see, I know the PIs, just hard-coded. Moving further up then, I've got kind of Mauricio as our advanced playmaker on attack. Again, no additional PIs for him to shoot less often, dribble more, take more risks. Vega out on the right, or sometimes this is Esteval. Inverted winger on attack. Again, take more risks, shoot less often, just for the football manager side of things. And that's what I'd like to see. It's all about overloading this area here, cutting in, creating kind of, you see, overloads in these kind of the opposition box. You see, looking for them goals. And you do score goals, and like you say, it does leave them open a little bit, which may suggest that you do get your wing backs up here as well. Probably leaving this kind of a little bit exposed with three at the back, especially if your Volontier is kind of up there as well. But yeah, very rare to have seen kind of clean sheets. Putting back as a Volontier. Yeah, very rare have I seen kind of clean sheets on the kind of results I've been looking at and the highlights and stuff. So yeah, it sounds like pure aggression, to be quite honest. We're leaving gaps behind them, but probably have the confidence to kind of go ahead and score. So you see Mauricio, no other PIs. Vega, take more risks, shoot less often. Other side, inside forward, Felipe Anderson, shoot less often, sit narrower. And long-term journeyman, if you like, 31 years old. Still got fantastic stats, still doing a job. 21 goals for us this season, 24 assists, so did the job perfectly for us. And then just up ahead of that, advanced forward in Ronnie. Again, nothing much for him, just moving to channels. Again, great player, 24 goals, 12 assists for this season. So all in all, that's the kind of player instructions and the player roles. Like you say, I think it's pure. It's a standard gegenpress, really, very aggressive, getting the kind of players forward. Fairly standard. Overload those kind of opposition area. You see, defense-wise, there's not much. Well, there is. We've still got a standard defensive line. But I think probably leave ourselves a bit exposed, with that kind of aggression, which, looking at it, I think that's kind of route he seems to go down. Like I say, from what I've been reading, it seems as though he has changed his style. Like I say, why, I don't know, but yeah, that's where they're at. So, competition-wise then, what did we win? We won the Brasileiro Serie A, 95 points, well clear of second place. Like I say, it didn't entirely have it our own way, but Sao Paulo State, we got beat in the final on penalties, which was a bit of a crusher, but we won the Fair FIFA Club World Cup, and we once again won the Copa Libertadores. So a fantastic achievement. Very hard to win that. I mean, they obviously win this back-to-back anyway, and his reign was kind of fantastic. So we've kind of emulated that and added another one to the trophy cabinet. So Copa Continental de Brazil, he knocked out the quarterfinals of that. But we were also runners-up in the Super Copa de Brazil as well. So I'd like to say not bad. Not a bad kind of haul for this kind of season, if you like. So what we want to focus on is the Serie A. Have a look at the stages here. So we can see, played 38, won 30 of them, drew 5, lost only 3, scored 98 goals, nearly got that 100, conceded 33. Not bad. Still probably the least in the division, looking at that, but still probably a fair amount of goals. But still less than a goal a game, really, when you look at that. So overall, not too bad, to be honest. Kind of maybe what we were aiming for. Look, stats-wise, I'm pretty popular squad. Have a look at all kind of goal scorers. So Lopez, 37 goals for the season. Not bad at all. 24 years old. 37 goals in total. 34 goals, 5 assists. Vega, 26 goals, 19 assists. Ronnie, 24 goals. Felipe Anderson, 21. Dudu, 21 as well. Murillo, 19. And then 9 7s and 7s. So very much a tactic for your kind of front men, which I'm hoping that kind of emulates what Palmeiras is all about. Trying to be defensively solid, although a little bit more aggressive than they have been. But looking to kind of overload the opposition defence and score goals like this tactic has done. Great tactic. I think it's kind of done the job I wanted to do. I just hope it does emulate Palmeiras in some way, shape or form. So looking at the assists then, quick look through. 24 for Anderson, 22 for Dudu, 19 for Vega, 12 for Ronnie, 10 for Mauricio. Again, so to me, that's probably... Mauricio must have made a start in midfield, so that's probably a volunteer. You're kind of inside forward, you inverted winger, you advanced forward, you advanced playmaker. I think Mauricio is advanced playmaker. So it's certainly coming from the forwards as well. So you're all kind of creating for each other, scoring goals as well. Kind of literally working as a kind of an attacking unit, to be quite honest with you, kind of together, which is great to see. Really happy with that. Really happy with that kind of outcome. So we'll just watch a few kind of highlights just to kind of see how it plays in game. I want to see kind of short passing, play off from the back, maybe look to kind of the wing backs, and see how it kind of flows. Do we eventually get at the wide men? I'm hoping. Do we create from midfield as well? So, but you'll see here, we have actually given up a bit of possession. We are at home, but we have sacrificed a bit of possession against River Plate. Passes as well. Not that many, around about the obviously 400 mark, completing only 393 of them, although it is a high completion rate, which maybe is not reflective, but you can see we are giving up like a lot of passing, so that's probably down to the quickness. Although it's shorter, we are quick. I think we are a little bit more direct, so that's kind of what I was aiming for. I'll have a couple more examples as we go through, but we'll see what it looks like in game. You can see, I guess we probably felt a goal down straight away. Not sure. Well, expect Weatherton to be a little bit better than that. But we must hit back straight away. So there's Vega then. Inverted wing on the right. Yeah, coming inside for doing the job himself. Not happy with that. So we see Murillo there. Yeah, playing at the kind of peak where Piqueras. Looking for Moreno on the wings there. Exactly what I want to see. Come back inside for Dudu. Slots at home. To me, that looks pretty much Palmeiras style. Yeah, I've seen a few highlights like that. Looking for those wide men. This one, corner. Straightforward again, but probably all the same. And finishing off with a penalty. So we'll see here again. Again, we've given up a bit of possession away to kind of Goas. Apologies for my pronunciation. Give away a bit of possession. Again, passing accuracy is not the best. And we kind of obviously least kind of behind their main passes actually made attempted. So both became our 3-0 winners. So exactly pretty much what I'm looking for. I'll watch the goal, see how this kind of panned out. Like I say, this is not always the case. You're not always going to be, there's going to be games where you are dominating possession and dominating the passing. But certainly a tactic that is aggressive, and these probably guaranteed teams that maybe sit back and look for a counter attack. See Vega, Dudu coming in. Exactly the kind of play I'm looking for. Ian Gomez to Rucker. Out wide to Anderson. Cross comes in. Lopez, slot at home. Definitely using that width. Definitely using them wide men. Although even that's still with a kind of narrow-ish kind of formation, if you like. Ian, kind of corner swung in. Murillo, but yeah, it's certainly kind of the style I'm looking for. Seems to emulate it quite well. Like I say, it is aggressive. It is in your face. We are giving up a bit of possession at times, but we are getting results and getting goals. So just a few stats to bring up for you, just to kind of highlight kind of where we try to make this tactic. Like I say, I think they're very aggressive, Palmeiras. Looking back at a few matches, a few red cards shown in quite a few games. High amount of kind of cards shown as well. Kind of tackling that's made. Looking at the kind of the stats. Things like that, trying to get the kind of passing right and see if we can kind of recreate this kind of aggressive but fairly defensive as well at times. We do concede a lot of space behind us, which I think they kind of do in real life as well. I think looking back at a result there against Juventud, 5-3 was the final score away. They've had a couple of 5-0s as well, 2-1s. Scoring goals, very rare that they don't score. I think there's just one game in the past 6 or 7 matches I think I looked at where I think both teams got a red card each and finished 0-0. So very kind of tempered affair. But we've got to take a look at a few of these kind of data hub things, just to kind of have a little look at these stats. Possession gained them just inside our kind of our own halfway line. Pretty much where I'd expect to see it. Wouldn't mind a little bit higher with having that kind of higher press, but I think it's probably a fair reflection. I think by the time probably beat those kind of the strikers and the wingers, and then all kind of DMs are probably picking that up and doing their job in the kind of front of the defence there. Probably work together with your kind of wing backs as well. Nice defensive line. Again, probably giving that a bit too much space, using that standard defensive line as well between that and the midfield. But it probably stops us maybe conceding as many goals. So it's kind of finding that balance throughout the team. Possession loss then. So a majority of it is in the opposition half. It's fair enough, yeah. I can kind of say that's probably kind of coming from our kind of playing to the wings. Maybe we are losing it. And obviously there is that big gap between the kind of DMs and the wide players, the advanced playmaker. So the Volunteers has a lot of, the Volunteer has a lot of ground to make up. Could be losing possession around that area as well without making that kind of pass to the wings. But we saw in some of the highlights that we were getting through. This is a fairly average number of losses of possession, 98 possession losses per game compared to an average team with 101. Yeah, so we're just losing probably the average. Again, that's probably because the gap between, I think, like you say, the defensive kind of units and the attacking units up top there. But it's all about getting that balance right. If we'd pushed that higher line, we may have reduced that, but we may have conceded a few more at the back. Passes attempted them. So a fairly average number of passes attempted. 531 passes attempted per game compared to an average of 515. Slightly higher than probably what I wanted, really. I think the aim was to try and maybe reduce that, but should have made that a bit more direct. Passing rather than shorter. So I probably created, kind of a situation where I'm probably kind of creating more passes than probably is realistic for Palmeiras. Let's say they're maybe a little slightly more direct than I had them, although they do play maybe a short game out the back, but maybe it's slightly more direct the higher up the pitch to go. So that's something you can probably maybe tweak if you pick up this tactic and kind of maybe choose yourself. You want to make it a little bit more realistic, maybe. Just some of the stats. A lot of the stats I've seen, they do have a low percentage of passes made, completed, and like you say, a low possession. Passes attempted then come from the kind of middle third of the pitch, kind of just inside the halfway line and our half. Pretty much how I expect. My guess is like say from the Volunteer, from the wing backs. Again, looking to progress that to the wingers or the advanced playmaker up top there. Fairly exactly where I want to see it. Defensive actions, again, makes sense. It's kind of in our own half the majority of the time. We are probably conceding that space behind us with our wing backs coming on supporting, the Volunteer pushing up, leaving three at the back. Served us well, to be fair. I mean, 63 defensive actions per game compared to an average team of 76. So, like I keep saying, it is about that balance. We could maybe have pushed that higher up, but would we have conceded maybe more at the back, leaving a bit more of a gap behind us? Attacking efficiency there, aggressive shoot, clinical shooting, which I think is definitely the Palmeiras the way. Certainly kind of Abel's kind of aim is to kind of outscore the opposition without a doubt, as well as hopefully keeping it tight and kind of a clean sheets at the back. Pretty much obviously for every football manager wants, I guess, probably the silly thing to say, but it's kind of he seems to have changed to kind of a really kind of more aggressive formation. But getting the results, like I say, there's a few 5-0 wins in there, a couple of 2-1s, 5-3. Probably just highlights maybe how open it is now at the back, kind of that kind of result there. But overall, it seems to be kind of working. But I'm not sure why that was changed when the kind of three at the back formation was maybe working as well. But aggressive shooting, critical shooting. General performance then, just a quick look. Scoring over 2.5 goals per game. Conceding 0.87, less than a goal a game, well less. Expected is 1.11, so we conceded less than what's expected. Pass completion, slightly higher than what I really wanted to try and recreate this tactic. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with how it worked out. Passing dynamics then. Fewer passes allowed against us. Lots of passes completed. Just teams do not complete a lot of passes against us compared to the average, so that's good to see. It shows the press is working, putting pressure on them, make them force into mistakes, and hopefully turn that ball over, create our own chances. Pressing intensity then, so lower number of opposition passes per defensive action and high defensive line position. So it just says there, without a less than average amount of opposition passes per defensive action, and we keep it higher than average defensive line, which is quite strange, although I did have it on a standard line, so up half, yeah, maybe step up more. Pitch tilt them. So it says here, teams produce a high number of passes against us in the final third compared to the average. That's probably, like you say, again, because the gaps we're leaving there. But we produce a high number of passes in the final third compared to the average as well. But we seem to be kind of dealing with it a lot better than our opposition did, which is what counts. Passing then, lots of passes and accurate passing. Yeah, didn't really want to achieve that. So maybe, like you say, I should have maybe had that on slightly more direct, just to maybe, yeah, make it a little bit more realistic for what I've seen in the stats in kind of real life. So I wonder if they're a little bit more, like you say, play off from the back, short pass them, but gets a little bit more direct, how the pitch you go. But that's it from me now. That's my kind of Abel Ferreira Palmeiras tactic. Like you say, let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to use this, what you would tweak, what you would change. Get down in the comments. Like you say, I only have a short time to kind of get as much information as I can. I do know he has changed it, and see, I would love to know why. What maybe your thoughts are behind that. As he's asking the defence to do a bit too much now, with it being quite older, should we say? But like I say, I've enjoyed this one. Certainly something a little bit different for me as well. It's the Brazilian league looks like something I certainly probably enjoy. I haven't managed in the Brazilian league on Football Manager, but 3 games a week looks pretty intense. But like I say, that's it from me now. Please do drop a like, do subscribe if you can. It really is helping the channel. Like I say, let me know what you think about the tactic. I think it would change. And I'll see you shortly. Bye for now.